Apple's iPhone 17 event is now only 1 week away, and we've been getting waves of leaks for the new upcoming AirPods Pro 3, which, based on everything in this video, I can 100% confirm that they are coming at this event. But before I get into the 7 major leaked upgrades you should expect, as well as how big of a hit it's gonna have on your wallet, because trust me, you're gonna wanna upgrade, and so am I, since I'm currently on the AirPods Pro 2 for already 3 years, let me first get into 3 huge reasons for why I'm so confident that they're coming at this event. First of all, Apple upgrades their AirPods every 2.5 to 3 years. For example, the AirPods 4 came out 3 years after the 3rd gen, which came out 2.5 years after the AirPods 2, and those came out 2.5 years after the original AirPods. And for the AirPods Pros, the AirPods Pro 2 came out in September of 2022, 3 years after the original AirPods Pro. So there has never been a gap of more than 3 years in between AirPods models, and guess what? The iPhone 17 event will mark exactly 3 years since the AirPods Pro 2 have been out, so if Apple doesn't release them now, that would make it a 4-year gap, which is just insane and has never happened before. Now, the second reason is that Apple's AirPods Pro 2 are starting to fall behind in terms of features and sound quality compared to their competitors. Like, for example, some of Soundcore's Pro earbuds already have better noise cancellation than the AirPods Pro 2, and they're much less expensive. Others have also came out that sound better and with newer features like the Powerbeats Pro 2 that have heart rate monitoring, and that's Apple's own earbuds. And some analysts are saying that Apple's sales of the AirPods are starting to fall behind since it's been so long since they had a Pro update. And finally, for the third reason, I know that these AirPods Pro 3 are coming due to many recent leaks that usually only happen right before a launch. Like, for example, we had this AirPods Pro 3 case that just leaked, as well as this different one that shows this cool lanyard loop attachment. Majin Buu also leaked a new capacitive button on the back of the new AirPods. We also had some iOS 26 code that mentioned the words AirPods Pro 3 found by Steve Moser, and yes, Mark Gurman has also said that these new AirPods are coming this year, not 2026 like some other leakers are saying. So with that said, the evidence is massive for a release date of these buds next week. Now, with all that evidence out of the way, let's jump into the 7 new upgrades to expect. Upgrade number 1 is a full case redesign. Like you saw in that leaked AirPods Pro 3 case, that confirms there is no longer a button on the back for pairing. It will now be a capacitive button, which you just double tap to start pairing, especially since you don't use it that often. Also, the light cutout on the front for the little LED, that is going away. The light's gonna shine through the case, just like the AirPods 4, and we also had a leak from Majin Buu that said the case will be smaller as well, so we're getting a full redesign. Feature number 2 is the new H3 chip, which this will lead to faster software that's more reliable for things like device switching, better processing in general, less latency, improved adaptive transparency mode, conversation awareness, it's gonna have more reliable Siri, etc. All of that will get upgraded with the H3 chip, including new features like on-device live translation. Feature number 3 is much better active noise cancellation, which will use a faster audio chip to run, which will be the H3 chip. I'm sure Apple's also gonna upgrade the microphones, since those are directly used for active noise cancellation, so that's gonna make it even better. And also the transparency mode, which I love, would also get an upgrade with that. Now, this is gonna be hugely important for staying ahead of the competition, because a lot of them are starting to catch up in terms of the ANC, and the ones on the AirPods Pro 2 are starting to fall behind, so Apple needs this. For feature number 4, we have in-ear temperature detection. This is gonna lead to some cool features like telling you when you need to potentially take a break and cool down. It could even warn you if it senses that you're starting to maybe get a fever, or if you're outside and you might be at risk of getting a heat stroke, it could literally tell you on your phone and be like, hey, get in the shade. It could also be used for Apple's upcoming leaked AI health coach, which could use that data to essentially know how long you need to take breaks for before getting into the next session. For feature number 5, we have better speaker quality, and that is extremely important because Apple is starting to fall behind in terms of quality. Like the Sony XM5 earbuds, those actually sound more clean and natural than the Pro 2s in my opinion. Even though the Pro 2s get a lot louder, there is that difference. And other earbuds are starting to go with new designs like dual drivers that sound better. So you have one speaker for the bass and the mids, and then one for the highs. So you get a much kind of higher dynamic range sound to it. So Apple needs to either adopt a design like that with two drivers, or just get very, very high quality speaker driver upgrades. Now moving on to number 6, we have heart rate monitoring, and this is coming for sure because Apple put that feature in their Powerbeats Pro 2, and this essentially makes it so you don't have to rely on wearing an Apple Watch to get your heart rate and all your other data. This essentially just replaces the Apple Watch, so you can go on outdoor walks, runs, gym workouts, and you're always tracking your heart rate, so you don't have to worry about that. It could also be used for very accurate sleep tracking. So if you don't want to wear your Apple Watch at night, which I hate doing, I always take it off, I always charge it, and you just want to wear AirPods instead, you'll get great sleep tracking. And finally, for number 7, the earbuds themselves are getting redesigned to be smaller. So that's going to be cool because right now the AirPods 4 have already gotten redesigned with a cool little design and some tweaks that make it a lot more comfortable. And yes, they are extremely comfortable, more comfortable than the Pro 2s. So I expect that Apple's going to take all that data and learnings from those and apply it to the Pro 3's earbuds to get a lot more comfortable, because right now a lot of people have issues with them falling out all the time or giving some ear fatigue after a while. So Apple is going to work on that with a new earbud design. And finally, let's talk about the price. Yes, we have all the tariff worries and everything else where people think it's going to bring the price up to $299, $300 for AirPods Pro 3. Now, while that is a possibility, I think Apple is going to surprise everyone and keep the price exactly the same, $249, just like they have right now for the Pro 2s. Why do I think that? Well, on Amazon, the Pro 2s have been on sale for $200 for months. They even went down to $150 for Prime Day, which is crazy. So there are margins there for Apple. So I think they can get away with $249 to stay ahead of the competition. And there you guys go. Those are 7 new features to expect on the AirPods Pro 3. And let me tell you, I am upgrading on day 1. So if you want to see my review and testing of those, subscribe above so you don't miss out, and check out one of those 2 videos right there, including the iPhone event leaks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.